Are you tired of your so-called tribal chief and these terrible takes?
We are live on the Worldwide. We are not live on the Worldwide Sports. Excuse me. We are live. I'm so used to saying that.
Are you tired of this no ifs in sports?
I'm sick and tired of people. Anytime there's an if in the Hitler streets, oh, pull up Carl Coulange's picture, but then you're gonna tell me I'm wrong? Get out of here, man.
If you are, come with me and burn the shirt. Rock with the future of the sports Hitlers.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Being a fan is why we're here. The cheerful moments, the sadful moments, the angry moments. But it's deeper than that. The 2021 NBA Finals tip off tonight in Phoenix. Carl Coulange for the Sports Hit List, by the fans and for the fans. Thank you for joining us here on our live pregame show. The finals are here. The finals are here. There's no better time to be an NBA basketball fans. We've reached the final two. This is not the final two that I believe we all expected going into this crazy season, but we are here. Bucks versus Suns. Game 1 tips off tonight in Phoenix at believe 9 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you to everyone who's watching our live right now. I'm sure people are still to pull up. It is 6 o'clock on the East Coast. The finals. I love the finals. No better feeling, regardless of the teams that are in it. I know there are some casual sports fans who only like to see, the main marquee matchups and your typical teams that are usually there. But these two teams are not typically here. We have the Suns on one side, led by Chris Paul, and we have Giannis Antetokounmpo leading the Milwaukee Bucks. So it's intriguing. It's nice to actually see two different teams that are not the same teams. We had four years where we had Warriors and Cavs, going back and forth, which was a nice little rivalry. We get the same names that are usually in the finals. We're usually here, but these two teams haven't been here. So one team's going to walk away with the championship that they haven't in a very long time. So it's nice as an NBA fan to see somebody else getting an opportunity. Yes, the NBA has been built on dynasties. We know the Celtics and the Lakers. We know the Bulls. We know the Spurs. The Warriors had their little run. LeBron had his run for 8 years in the finals. So finally, something that you don't necessarily see two teams that you wouldn't believe to be here, but they are here. And I think it does great for the league itself to showcase some of the talents of players that you may not have known about, particularly Devin Booker. Devin Booker has definitely been one player in the league who's been coming, and people who don't watch Suns games may not know or be aware of who Devin Booker is. So congrats to him for being here on the spotlight. DeAndre Ayton as well, a player that, a first overall pick who people may not know about or the casual fan may not know about is here at the NBA Finals. On the other side, you have Milwaukee with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Chris Middleton. Again, players that a casual NBA fan may not be able to be aware of, can actually see them here showcase on the bright lights of the NBA Finals. The NBA Finals, to me, as I said before, are great. There are countless memories when it comes to the NBA Finals. I can list moments and moments and moments. Clearly, I'm repping my team here with 2008. I can never let that go because I don't know when I'm getting another one. But I have to say, there are endless finals moments. One that certainly sticks out to me that I have to touch upon, 1991. Special shout out to Marv Albert, who retired after Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. A tremendous career, one that you follow, and sometimes broadcasters don't get the acknowledgement and the flowers that they deserve. But for me, being an inspiring broadcast journalist and looking at the ones who've paved the way, Marv Albert has certainly paved the way. One finals memory that sticks out to me is when Jordan switched hands in the air in 1991 against the Lakers, and you can hear Marv saying, "Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan." That plays over and over in my mind. I can never get that finals moment out of my mind. So that's one of my all-time favorite finals moments, just to hear Marv with the call. I think not only does the move look great, but the fact that Marv is able to make that call in that moment is absolutely amazing. So shout out to Marv Albert for what he did for the broadcasting industry. Those who are too young, who may not understand and know what Marv Albert has done, go back and look him up. All-time Knicks broadcaster for years and years and years. TNT, NBA on NBC, who was the voice during that prime peak of NBA on NBC, was Marv Albert. So he definitely is, for me, one of the pillars of the broadcasting game. But as far as the NBA Finals is concerned, again, there are countless memories. You can go back in the archives and remember what they are. There are endless memories. And today, with my guest contributors, we're going to go back down memory lane as we preview the NBA Finals. They will give you their top NBA Finals moments. As I said, top two, clearly 2008 will resonate with me, but also Marv Albert making that call. I've been watching NBA Finals since about that, around that time, since about 1991, 92. So vivid memories of NBA Finals game being played. Who can forget in 1994 when you had the OJ chase, right? That's a classic moment where the broadcast literally stopped to watch OJ Simpson be chased and people not knowing what's going on. So endless moments here that will live on in infamy in NBA history. So I'm going to get to some of my contributors here as we preview the NBA Finals. I know I have one. I thought I had one waiting in the room, but I guess he popped back out. I'm sure he'll pop back in. But we have a list of hitless contributors here today who are going to pop in and give us their opinion about this series. They're going to let us know. They're going to make predictions. We're going to break down the game, and they will also give us their favorite NBA Finals moments. So I think Ricardo is here. Let me bring him in. He's a little early. I know Ziggy Zig is going to come in too as well. Let's see if Rick is here in the building. Rick, can you hear me, sir? Rick, can you hear me, sir? Let's see as his audio comes in.
Yo.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are you still watching that soccer game? Is that intruding on your time right now?
Yo, listen, man. At the buzzer, man. It wrapped up about 5 minutes ago. I had to come down off a high. It was wild, man. Penalties.
So who won the game? Let us know. Who won the game?
Oh man, Italy pulled it out 4-2 in penalties, man. It was insane. Amazing match. Spain definitely should have won it, but it is what it is, man. Italy's on to the final.
Right. We'll definitely have some more soccer. I know on Sunday we'll have a preview to the game, to the championship game on Sunday. But today we're here to talk about the NBA Finals, and we are here with the Bucks versus Suns. Before we even get to the breakdown of the game, I've been trying to get a feel of what is your greatest or favorite NBA Finals moment of all time. I kind of know where you're going. I'm giving you a free alley here. Go for it.
You already know. It's easy, man. 2009, the best year of my life. You already know. My son was born in 2009. I married my amazing wife in 2009. The Lakers won a championship in 2009 right here in Orlando, and I was blessed and fortunate enough to be there and be in the building. The one and only time. I've seen Florida State win an ACC championship. But the one and only time I've been able to witness my team win an actual overall championship, without a doubt, man, the greatest sports memory of my life. Next to, up until then, I was at the game when the Dolphins won their one game when they went 1-16 or whatever it was that one season. We beat the Ravens in like an overtime game for that one victory. That felt like the Super Bowl, but nothing tops that feeling in 2009, being here, being in the building to see my guys win.
So you were at Game 5. So was it just the luck of the draw? You decided that you were going to game, but when they were up 3-1, you knew they were closing it out. That you said, you know what, let me go to Game 5.
So honestly, we was cocky at first because we got tickets just for 4. We was like, oh, it's gonna be a sweep.
So you went to 4 and 5. So you went to 4 and 5. Yeah,
we had to scramble. We had to scramble to get the game 5 tickets because it was like, damn, man, now we gotta, But hey, we made it work, man. It was dope.
That's pretty dope. Like I said, low key hating because I don't know when I'll be able to get to be in the finals building when my team wins it. But that's amazing. The fact that I know someone who was at a finals game when their team won it. There's nothing better than that. Ziggy Zig, sir, how you doing, man?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Yeah.
So I just asked Rick, what is his favorite NBA Finals moment all time? So I'm going to ask you the same question as we begin the finals tonight. What is your NBA Finals moment? Your favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
I think for me it would be too easy to say Kawhi Leonard winning the championship twice, right? So let me see if I could go in a different route. For me, I think honestly, my best moment was actually the 2004 NBA Finals Game 1, Detroit Pistons versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Nobody really gave Detroit a chance in that series, like nobody. No, and they came out in Game 1 and they punched the Lakers straight in their mouth and let them know that they were there. And
they sure did.
Yeah, had it not been for Kobe Bryant, game tying 3-4 overtime in Game 2. The Lakers would have been swept by the Detroit Pistons 4-0. So for me, that was actually really cool to see, Chauncey Billups, Mr. Big Shot, get his shine. Finally see Rasheed Wallace get the praise that he deserved. All those guys, Ben Wallace, Rip Hamilton. People forget that was Tayshaun Prince's second year in the league. So that was, for me, that was actually a really, really good one because honestly, it was the first time I finally get to see the Lakers lose.
What's funny about that moment after the game 1, everyone thought it was going to be a repeat of Philly in 2001, where Philly won 1 game and then they thought the Lakers were going to win the next 4. Everyone kind of dismissed it like, oh, the Lakers are going to win the next 4.
That was the vibe. I ain't gonna lie. As the resident Laker fan, that was
the vibe. It definitely was because I was in high school because after the Lakers lost the first game, I went into school talking shit like, yeah, you guys are not winning this series anymore. And everyone's like, oh, don't worry about it. I did the same thing in 2001. Mm-hmm. The Lakers are going to win the next 4. Don't worry about it. They got the super team. They're going to win the next 4. And then as the series goes along, you're like, I don't know, man. It didn't look good.
People don't talk about that. That's like Kobe's forgotten series. People don't talk about that. He wasn't too hot in that series. So shout out to Detroit Pistons.
Detroit gave him fits, man. Detroit gave him fits all series. I remember watching in the moment, just like, you get to a point maybe about midway through Game 3, and it's like, man, this ain't good.
But guys, the NBA Finals, as I said in my opening monologue, 2 teams that we didn't expect to be here. Now we are here. Rick, let me ask you this. What was your first initial thoughts when you saw that this was going to be the series that you're going to be watching for the next 2 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I think we were kind of prepared for it a little bit down the stretch, I'll say, just because, especially on the West Side, I mean, I feel like as the playoffs went along, the Suns definitely continued to show that they were coming and show that they were, ready and deserved to be there. So I don't think it's as much of a surprise on the Sun side as far as, like maybe the past handful of weeks or whatnot. On the East, things been going back and forth a lot of injury issues and whatnot. So, especially coming down the stretch of the Bucks Hawks, it was kind of challenging to see and kind of think where we were going to end up. But overall, you're correct. One of the things you said overall, beginning in the monologue, the fact that we don't have those brand name teams, nor do we necessarily have those brand name players. It's Giannis's first time there. It's CP3's first time there, and those are the 2 mainstays, on each team. Then you got a bunch of young cats in there getting their first taste of the high life out here. So it's going to be awesome to see, man. It's really good for the league, I think. Again, I always say I'd love for my team to be in it every single year, but I appreciate when my team is not in it so that I have all the stress and the worry out of the way and can just, really, truly enjoy this series itself. So it's going to be great to see 2 teams that, just haven't been here in forever be there.
Ziggs, what were your first initial thoughts when you realized we were getting Suns and Bucks?
It's similar to what Rick was saying. I don't think it was any surprise. The minute Kawhi Leonard went down, the minute the Suns swept the Nuggets, it was like, all right, Suns is going to be in the finals. It's just a matter of when and how they get in there. And for me, it was the same with the Milwaukee Bucks. Once Kevin Durant. Once James Harden wasn't really too right and Kyrie Irving got hurt, I knew already that, hey, Milwaukee's going to be here in the NBA Finals as well. Atlanta gave them a run for their money, but when Trey went down, another injury, talking about these injuries over and over, when Trey went down, that pretty much cemented Milwaukee's chance to take it straight to the NBA Finals. So I really kind of was hoping to get the young boy NBA Finals and Devin Booker versus Trey Young. That would have been really gold. But I'm still going to be tuned in for game 1 through 7 if necessary for this particular finals. I'm looking forward to a matchup. It's a contrast in styles. You got the Milwaukee Bucks, hitting it heavy in the paint, heavy in the paint, and you got the Phoenix Suns with the pick and roll, open shooters trying to knock it down. Devin Booker, ISO on the wing. So I'm looking forward to that, man. It's gonna be a dope series.
So far, last I heard is that Giannis was a game time decision. I was working at camp all day. Some of the counselors are coming up to me. Originally, when I went into work today, it was like Giannis wasn't playing. And then this one kid, shout out to him. His name is Danny Dressler. He came up to me. He's like, Carl, Giannis is a game time decision. So I'm like, okay, that may change the dynamic of the series. In my mind, I'm thinking to myself, I hope they're not pushing him. It's the same situation where you get to, like, Giannis wants to play. But I hope they're not pushing him to play, or he's not deciding to play to further any injury. Ziggs, talk about that. Again, we see this a lot with players where it's like, do you play? Do you risk further injury? And I get it. This is a finals moment where he kind of was like, man, I got to be here for my team. I have to play. We heard Trey Young say it in the last series. He said he knows in that last game he had to go give it his all to know that he couldn't live with himself knowing that he didn't give it his all, that he's give it a try. With Giannis, how do you approach this? You're at the finals. You coming off an injury that could potentially, be severe. What do you do, Ziggs?
Well, you do the same thing Trey Young did. You got to come out there. This is the NBA Finals. If Trey Young is coming out there for the Eastern Conference Finals, what you think Giannis got to do for the NBA Finals? You got to come out there and you got to play. You know what I'm saying? If you're 67, 65, 70%, you got to play. I can understand if for precautionary reasons you want to say, you know what, hey, you're going to sit this game 1 out. Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday been leading us. Brook Lopez been holding it down the middle for us. By you kind of being out the game, it kind of opens up the floor for the Bucks even more. You know what I'm saying? Because now everybody's not going to be packed in waiting for Giannis. But Giannis, you got to play. If you want to wait 1 game, sure, but you got to come back in this series ASAP, because I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to beat the Phoenix Suns without Giannis Antetokounmpo.
All right, Rick, do you agree? Again, sticky situation where you're like risking. Okay, do you play, or do you say, you know what, let me hold out? If you're not 100%, 70%. In that 30%, he could get hurt again and potentially ruin the rest of his career. So do you play or do you not play if you're Giannis?
So I'm leaning towards the opposite of what Zig said. I look at it this way. You're kind of playing warehouse money. First 2 games are out in Phoenix, okay? So, we're dealing with home court advantage situation anyway. You're on the road those first 2 games. Worst case scenario, you go down. At worst 0-2. Hey, it's still the home court advantage swing that you got to deal with no matter what. Since Giannis has been down, like you mentioned, Middleton's been balling. Holiday's been balling. Lopez has been balling. They're cooking right now. You know what I'm saying? They've managed to get to a point offensively where they're being extremely effective and pretty damn efficient with Giannis out. So me personally, if I'm the Bucks, I'm not going to rush him out there. I'd rather be able to say, hey, look, if I got to sit you down for these first 2 games to make sure we get you as close to 100% as possible for the last 5, I would take that chance at the very least for this first game. We'll see how things goes, because I think they got is it 2 days or 3 days in between, if I'm not mistaken?
Next game is Thursday. So game 1 is today. Game 2 is Thursday. And I believe the next game is Sunday. Game 3 is Sunday in Milwaukee. Yeah,
at the very least, me, if I'm the Bucks, I'm holding them out today. I let these other guys continue to flow that they've kind of built up over the past couple of games to close out the Hawks. Take the chance on the road, see what it looks like. Maybe, circle back on Thursday if we got to push him out there. Then, yeah, I could understand if there's a sense of urgency. Maybe you get blown out tonight if he ain't on the floor. You're down 0-1. Then it's like, all right, we might need you. But I would take my chances and roll the dice of going ahead and sitting him and see what we can do without him in this first game on the road.
Well, we saw in game 6.
I said, that's exactly what I said. I said, if you want, you can sit him down for game 1 for sure. But you cannot let him sit for 2 games, because you go down 0-2. Phoenix home crowd is rocking. It's the NBA Finals. They get 1. It's gonna be over for Milwaukee Bucks. I don't see them bouncing back from a 3-1.
Well, I've said this though, with or without Giannis, we're looking at a Chris Paul who's never been here before. Now, I'm putting my CP3 hate to the side and being objective as possible for those, because I know someone's going to flood the comments, try to ruin what I'm trying to do here. But how can you? Because I know the hitless streets, right? But how can you bet against with or without Giannis? How can you bet against CP3 being here the first time, 16-year career, 36 years old? Doesn't that show a trajectory for him to win, Rick?
Of course. I mean, I think, generally when we see a player in this position, it's a ring chasing situation. It's, I'm on my way out. Let me see if I can get a little jewelry, with one last try, but it's different with CP. You mentioned it. He's been in the league 16 years, 36 years old, but he is a linchpin in what they've been able to do and how they've been able to get here. So when you've got that on your team, along with a Devin Booker who is showing time and time again that he's ready for the bright lights, DeAndre Ayton doing this thing, you know what I mean? So with CP leading them, you have to assume that they're going to be the favorites anyway. So again, that's why in my mindset, I'm like, look, we're in Phoenix. If we got to sacrifice game one, let's go ahead and sacrifice game one, chalk it up, and let's try to get this man as healthy as possible.
So Zig, let me ask you this question on the Milwaukee side of things, and what could say Giannis, a 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and he's faced a lot of criticism, especially in the hitless streets. People say, "Oh, Giannis is overrated. Giannis' game is whack." He's here at the finals, regardless of what people have to say. He's here now. So, how much would you say this is as important as the legacy of Chris Paul to Giannis's legacy?
I mean, storylines are great and all, but at the end of the day, the game got to be played, right? So for me, if Giannis loses this, I don't think it's going to be. It's kind of hard because I'm looking.
It's not
at
going to be as catastrophic.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be as tough. And even if Chris Paul happens to lose this particular NBA Finals, I think people have given Chris Paul so much credit just for the fact for getting here.
Yeah.
He's going to be people are going to be all right with him if he happens to lose.
Are you sure? Let's be honest and evaluate what you just said. People will be okay that Chris Paul got here and lost in the finals.
Well, of course you want Chris. Don't you see like to do that shit where you like?
That's a media man. They'll let the media.
I don't like that shit. That's annoying. But like I said before, you gotta. People are gonna be okay. Me personally, I'm gonna be all right with it. Like, yo, you did your job. Obviously, the game is to win. But there's no team called the Phoenix CP3. We keep forgetting that. It's the Phoenix Suns. It's Chris Paul. It's Devin Booker. It's DeAndre Ayton, Cameron Payne, Mikal Bridges. What's my guy name? Jay Crowder, Cameron Johnson, all those guys. It's not just Chris Paul. On the other side, it's the same thing for Milwaukee Bucks. Because we say and we talk about Giannis' legacy, but Giannis was missing for the last two games, and it was Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez picking up the slack, and Bobby Portis. Shout out to the former Knick. So that's why I said what I said in the beginning about storylines. It sounds good and the legacy and blah, blah, blah and all that, but the game has to be played, and it's not just one man versus another man. It's 5 versus 5 once you step onto that parquet floor.
Well said.
One thing I'll add on to that too, when you go to the storylines, let's not discount the coaching storylines too. I mean,
I was just gonna get to that. I think you were in my mind, Rick. See, that's that chemistry. I was going to the coaching. When we talk about the coaching in terms of the X's and O's, who has the upper hand here, Rick?
Hey man, I think me and Rick gonna say the same one.
I think off top, you're looking at it at face value. I'm gonna give Monty the edge. You know what I mean? I think what he's been able.
Go ahead, Rick. Rick, go ahead, boy. Come on, we're not gonna be quiet about it. Just go ahead. It's okay, man. It's okay. Just go ahead. 1, 2, 3. Just go ahead. Go ahead. We're not gonna be quiet about it in the hitless streets. We know what it is already. Come on now. Come on. I know y'all. Come on. We know what it is already.
The point I was gonna say as far as the storylines go on the coaching side, these are two coaches that have taken a lot of shit in their own right as well, and say we've been killing butt for his decisions throughout the past couple of years, coming up short and whatnot. Monty's been moving around the league here and there and whatnot, but on face value, what I'm seeing right now, he's in a flow. He knows this team very, very well. He knows what makes them work. He's putting these kids in the right positions almost every single time to be successful. So, at face value, I think Monty's got this. I think if we're just coming down to the X's and O's, I'm not giving Bud a chance.
Ziggs, what are your thoughts? clearly you agreed the way you were laughing over there.
I definitely agree. Monty Williams, everything that Rick said is true. Monty Williams has been making awesome adjustments in the series, especially with the way he played against the Clippers, right? Because people were trying to give the Clippers that shot, me included. But Paul, what's his not? I don't know what nickname he's going by these days, but former MVP.
High value.
No, not that Paul.
I didn't know which Paul you're talking about. My bad. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't want Paul the GOAT. I think
Paul the Great, Paul Lawson. He's been alluded to it in our chats for months and months and months at a time that Budenholzer is just not that guy. He's just not that. That's his phrase, right? He's just not that guy. So, I mean, we're going to finally see what's going to happen. Is Bud going to, get us to shut up because we're doing a lot of talking right here? Or is Monty going to do what he got to do and get that championship? And personally, for me, with the story, what Monty Williams has dealt with, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows a personal story that he's been dealing with.
Yeah.
How can you not root for Monty Williams? You know?
That was tough. That was tough a few years ago, man. A shout out to him. But guys, we're coming up on time as we got to move to other contributors. But it's prediction time.
What are the contributors?
We listen. We got a show. Smoke and Mirrors is going to be on deck coming in next. Smoke and Mirrors, baby. It's a sports hit list. We got to get opinions of everybody. We got Mike later on the show. Ray Job.
Ray. Okay. Well, you ain't even give us time to even talk about the Italy-Spain game. Like,
that's tomorrow. We got time for that. That's tomorrow. I know everybody wants to talk about that. Tomorrow. Listen, I've been too busy on my vacation planning this show. Now, when this show is over, while the game is on, I'm going to be playing tomorrow's show. So give me a chance. I'm going to get to soccer. Trust me. I got you guys on deck.
Don't worry. I might need a little quick cameo on that and then just come right
out. I'm going to talk to the soccer panel in a minute. But, guys, let me get to you. It's prediction time. How many games, who you got, and why? Ziggs. And considering everything with Giannis's injury, coaching, X's and O's, matchups, home court advantage, who you got? How many games?
Okay. I said it from the beginning, and I want Monty to get his ring. I would love to see Devin Booker get a championship, DeAndre Ayton. Shout out to the West Indies, Bahamas. But I got to go with the Milwaukee Bucks.
Wow.
The same reason I went with the Milwaukee Bucks. I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks. Give me the Milwaukee Bucks in 7. Give me 7. I was gonna say 6.
Eddie's in the comments. Sorry, he said he got the Bucks in 6. Screenshot it. That's what Eddie's got. Shout out to Eddie.
All right, so yeah, Bucks in 7. The reason being for me personally is the same reason that I said in the last series when they played against the Nets, not the Hawks, but the Nets. I think their defensive length is going to pose a lot of problems, right? If they're running out with that lineup of Giannis, Tucker, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, those are all defensive guys. So when Chris Paul is trying to run those pick and roll, I want to see how he's going to do when he has to deal with 80% of the Bucks starting lineup being defensive guys. I just want to see how he's going to do with that. So Bucks in 7, and that's what I'm sticking with.
We got our first predictions here on the live. Bucks in 7 from Zig. Rick, who you got? How many games?
Again, like I mentioned before, I think it would serve the Bucks right to go ahead and toss up this first game, make sure Giannis is healthy. If that's the case going forward, I know you don't like this. I would think that the Suns are gonna take the title in 7 at home. Despite that, I think it's gonna be a really, really good series. The pressure for me is on the Bucks completely, just because when you're looking at the entirety of the playoff run and whatnot, we may not see the Bucks get an opportunity to get back here. So they've got to really go all in because we know, Brooklyn's coming. You know what I mean? So, and then the same could be said on the West as well, too, But at the end of the day, talking about the adjustments that we've seen, Ziggs mentioned it, defensively, the Bucks are going to come out there and throw all types of things at the Suns. But I'm going to count on Monty to make the adjustments and keep it moving. I think specifically the most important person in this series has got to be DeAndre Ayton, man. I think Ayton's got to show up, and he's got to really, really assert himself in this series and carry the Suns through a championship.
Real quick, it's funny that you said DeAndre Ayton because I'm sitting here saying to myself, as I'm listening to you, right, that if DeAndre Ayton somehow gets into foul trouble because the Bucks are penetrating the paint so much, and he gets into a situation sort of like Clint Capella or John Collins, it's going to be
That's
really
good
tough for Phoenix. I don't see how they could, overcome that. So I definitely agree for the Phoenix Suns to win. Ayton has to.
No, Ayton got to show out.
Thank you guys for your picks. Ziggs has Bucks in 7. Rick has Ziggs has Bucks in 7. Rick has Suns in 6. Rick, I'll see you tomorrow for that soccer show. Zig, I'll see you tonight for the post game of Game 1. It will
Suns
be you
in
and
7.
Coach.
Suns in 7.
Suns in 7.
Suns in 7.
Zig, I'll see you tonight for the post game with Coach. We got Coach on the post game tonight.
All right.
No doubt. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for pulling up. You're watching the Sports Hit List here by the fans and for the fans. You good?
Ain't nothing coming home, man. Ain't nothing coming home.
Let me bring in my next contributor. We got Steph from Smoke and Mirrors coming in to join us. Steph, how you doing, sir? Let me bring in my next contributor. Steph, can you hear me? Steph from Smoke and Mirrors coming in to join us. I can't hear you. Steph, how you doing, sir? My next contributor. Steph, can you hear me? Steph from Smoke and Mirrors coming in to join us. I can't hear you yet.
Hold on.
Now I can hear you.
All right, we're good.
We're good. Hey. I don't know where. Listen, I like you because you're on time. I don't know where your other contributors are, but I did say 6:30. Did I not? Right?
You said 6:30, right? And this is the thing. Whether I'm on the B show, I'm on the main show. I try to be in there like 5 minutes early. Sometimes I run a little late. And
I like that. I like that. People who actually are on time. That's a good thing. It goes far. See, you're doing the right thing when it comes to working with me. I work well with you. The others, I don't know. We got to talk about them. I don't want to talk about them. But before they come in, I wanted to address something real quick. As you said you don't know where my stance is going on this what if thing, right? Someone today posted something in the Hit List Streets. If you get a chance, go check it out. It basically describes what I'm talking about, where it nitpicks all the what ifs. And one of them that caused controversy was LeBron going down with the cramps in 2014. So again, we want to nitpick at what ifs are. We're gonna have to nitpick at every single little thing. That's all I'm gonna say. I got more coming. That's all I'm saying is a matter of, again, people want to be consistent and say what if. That's fine, but that means we have to apply it to everything. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I don't think there's anything wrong with applying it to everything because, and this was said on Smoke and Mirrors, and I agree with it 100%. It creates narratives. Like, we're here for narratives. There's more to talk about when you talk about the what ifs. And you know what was so
false about what Coach said? Coach said, well, the media drives on ifs. I can create a segment without using the word if. You definitely could.
Yes,
and you can be as entertaining without using the word if.
Yes.
Shouldn't we try to do that? The media brainwashes us to believe that you need if. That's what they do. They brainwash you to believe that
that's
you need
a Greg
the word
line,
if.
by the way.
What?
Greg would be like, the media narratives are bullcrap.
Oh, yeah, it is a media narrative for them to use it. But you know what? We're not going to address that because we're not here to do that. Today, we're here to talk about the NBA Finals. And let me ask you, before we get into the game itself, what is your personal favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
All time, and this is more like a sentimental one for me. It's gonna be 2016 NBA Finals. You got Golden State versus Cavs, and it's Game 7. Game 7, where Kyrie makes that 3, and mostly it's because I was at a bar with my friend Justin, and the game was going well up to that point. But like watching that play, watching JR get the pick and roll, you have Clay coming off of Kyrie, and you end up having Curry guarding Kyrie. Watch him sink that 3. What that meant. Also, this is going back to the what ifs. I know you didn't want to talk about it, but the what ifs. Kyrie wasn't there for 2015. That series, the Cavs lost, right? You had the what if. What if Kyrie was healthy? That played out the next year.
You see the name I came on the show with.
We're not burning the shirt because, again, like I said before, it leaves false hope. But go ahead, Steph. Because your brother just had to interrupt. He couldn't let you finish your sentence. It's in his nature. Go ahead.
That's true. But
wow.
Hey, whoa, bro. I know you're too damn long to sit there and say it's not true. I'm keeping it a buck.
Listen. You're supposed to keep allegiances here. You siding with the enemy, bro.
Whoa.
Listen, trust me. You trust me. Your brothers keep allegiance enough. So hush your mouth. All right. I'll tell you later, but they keep enough allegiance. Trust me. You don't have anything to worry about with that. But go ahead, Steph.
What I was and just to address that real quick, Greg, that has nothing to do with anything. I agree with you when it comes to the what ifs, but you do cut people off. Period. But just to go back to it. I love that. I love that series. Love that game. Seeing Kyrie in going down 2015, come back in 2016, and make the deciding shot in Game 7. because I think there was like 59 seconds left, but nothing really happened in that next 59 seconds. That 3 decided it for the Cavs and was the end of that series. And I believe I read somewhere that Wall Street Journal calls it the biggest shot in NBA history ever.
That's debatable because
there's a lot of big ones.
Because Judas Ray Allen, he hit one, and that one,
let it go. Let it go.
I can't let that one go. That one was probably the greatest NBA shot. The fact that the man literally did not even look at his feet, stepping his 2-step back to hit that, again, debatable. But Greg, let me ask you, what is your greatest NBA Finals moment, your favorite NBA Finals moment in history all time?
Favorite NBA Finals moment is when I really started getting into basketball, when I was an avid Knicks fan, following in my father's footsteps. And no Jordan, he's out sucking in the minor leagues. And the Knicks made the finals in '94 against Hakeem and the Houston Rockets. And granted, they went 7 and they lost, but being able to see your team in the finals is a really fun experience.
All right.
And honorable mention is Danny Green in 2014, almost breaking the NBA record for threes in a series.
I think it was 13 he did that.
2013, yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah, 13. Declan, what was your favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
All time, excuse me. I would have to say that my favorite Finals moment would be after, in 2008, after Kevin Garnett got traded to the Boston Celtics, whenever, and they win in 2008, and he goes up with the Larry.
And he goes, anything's possible.
Did that cut your mic out? I mean, that was.
I think it did.
Amazing. It
definitely did.
That's my favorite Finals moment, and this is my favorite hitless moment. Hearing you do that on live.
You set me up, man. Listen, you knew I was going to do it. You set me up. Sorry.
You know what that was? That was like LeBron to D Wade. Or excuse me, to LeBron.
Thank you for that. But
what Greg's been saying, he's been doing what Ray Jarvis all week to you. So.
It's all good because he needs backup to make his arguments. We know what it is already. He has to call in reinforcements, but we're not here to talk about that.
Now I gotta put you out there.
No, because
no. You're not gonna do that to me on air.
Do what? Do what to you?
Because you trying to make it seem like the fact that I booked these dudes wasn't a strategic move. You make it seem like I ran for help.
That's cool.
Because what you're gonna make me have to do is put the screenshots out there about what you said. Don't do that.
That's cool. Listen, I'm calling what it is. Anyway, we're here to talk about the NBA Finals. Guys, I have you until 6:50 when we have another set of contributors, so I'm going to try my best to get through it.
I love how you did this, by the way.
Thank you. It's called, we try to do the best.
Strategizing.
When it comes to the finals, right, and I asked this to the last guy, so I'm going to ask you guys this too to try to speed it up. CP3 is here, and I understand that it's a team effort. But clearly the focal points of CP3 and Giannis. When you talk about the superstars, that's a superstar factor. Can you actually see CP3 getting here and losing? Like, that mentality, I think, is in his mind that, listen, I haven't been here. And this is my first time here. I'm 36 years old. I don't know how many more opportunities I'm going to get with the Western Conference getting stacked every single minute. How can he lose? Steph?
I mean, just the way you built that up, to me, it seems like there's more pressure, right? Because like you told me, it's a young guy. And he's like, oh, my first time getting here, I have more chances to get here. Everything's kind of riding on this opportunity right now, But I think because of that and because of the veteran he is, he's going to rise to the occasion. We saw him carry this Suns team, even when he came back from COVID, coming through and leading them, being the floor general he needed to be. And when they needed him to be a scorer, he became a scorer. So I just think that CP3 he's a phenomenal player. He's going to just show out. It's his first time in the finals, but you're not expecting him to have, his head in the, like a deer in headlights where he doesn't know what's going on. He is going to be everything that the Suns need to thrive and dominate this series.
Greg, I know you're a big CP3 fan. We already know that, but let me ask you this for Giannis' sake, right? Giannis, 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and Giannis has faced a lot of criticism in the hitless streets and across media that he has no half-court offense. He can't play back to the basket. What do you say about Giannis? Clearly Giannis can get back here again, but does he face that same legacy state as with Chris Paul in this situation?
I don't think so, because Giannis kind of quell the critics rather quickly, if we're being really honest about it, because it was back-to-back years, and and this was technically based on what the hitless streets were saying was his put up or shut up year, and he put up.
He did.
You know,
Yeah.
so I think he's alleviated some of that criticism for the time being. And let's keep it honest here. The Suns are a deeper team than the Bucks. You know, 1 through 10. While the Bucks may have some more size on them, I believe the Suns have the better perimeter players, and that's what this series is going to come down to.
Declan, so since I asked them one each, I'm going to ask you which legacy, I guess you can say, is really on the line here. Is it Giannis or CP3's in a sense?
Oh, it's Chris Paul's, without a doubt, and that's not a shot at Chris Paul. It's just it is his first time in the finals. He's what is he 36?
36, yeah.
He's 36. Wow.
Yeah.
So he's 36. First time in the finals, it's big. And nobody thought he was going to do it in his first year in Phoenix when the team didn't even, I mean, they were great in the bubble, but they didn't technically make the playoffs last year. So that just makes everything so much more impressive. But as far as legacy goes, Chris Paul's legacy is on the line because he's got a lot of other accolades. He's one of the best point guards of all time, in my opinion. I know he hasn't won an MVP, but even still, I mean, to get a final, to get a ring, and if he get finals MVP, which I think is, I don't want to say an overrated award, but if he gets finals MVP or if he doesn't get finals MVP, he's still the main or the second contributor on a championship winning team. I mean, he is the main, but it's like if Booker got it or whatnot. But as far as
I don't think he'd care.
Yeah, exactly.
He just
exactly.
wants the ring. Carl, this just came to me, and I got to ask you, CP3 is only 1 year older than us, but doesn't it feel like he's so much older?
He does. No, you're not lying. You're not lying. But you know what? That's how I know we're old, because when I look at the players who are incoming, they're born in like 2002, 2003. I'm just like, damn, yo, we really up there. I didn't realize
That's a fact. It just hit me. I was like, yo, this man is old. Ain't been in the league for like 20 years.
Yeah, for real. So since I have some athletes in the building, special shout out to you guys for being athletes. Giannis is a game time decision. And I think this is a question I could ask you guys. With the NBA Finals on the line, he's a game time decision. Do you play your star player, or do you kind of, and again, 70%, Ziggy was saying it in the last segment. He was like, you know, if Giannis is 70%, he should be able to go. But then I'm thinking to myself, do you risk further injury by playing him if he's not 100%? And Trae Young even said it in the last series. He said, he had to give something. He couldn't live with himself not knowing that he plays. So, Greg, let me ask you first. As an athlete, what do you do? Your team is in the finals and you're not 100%. Do you give it a go, or do you just sit out until you're 100%?
The finals are never guaranteed. If you can go, you go. Because he won't be able to live with himself if he can give it even 50 to 60% and doesn't play and they get smoked. He's not going to be able to live with that. That's going to haunt him for the rest of his life. He may not ever come out and say it, but as an athlete, that will forever haunt him.
Now, Steph, let me throw that KD 2 years ago to you, right? KD went, and KD missed an entire year because he went. So you're Giannis in that similar kind of situation. Again, I don't know the details of, is it like further the injury, but again, he's injured, he's hurt. So what do you do?
I mean, what do you play it for, right? Like, what are you playing the sport for? For the hardware, for that opportunity to win it all. So if you're gonna tell me that, oh well, I played, you know, in the finals, and yes, I got hurt. Did my team win? You know, yes. Then I wasn't able to play the next year. So be it. Even if you lose, to put yourself in a situation where you're not 100%, maybe you're 50%, 70%, whatever it might be, you take the opportunity because you play all year long just to have this chance. And it's never guaranteed. Yes, you have some teams that are built to, you know, to make another run, but you never know what's going to happen the next year. So you have to, as long as you can contribute, as long as you're not, you know, becoming a detriment to your team, you go out there and you do your best to play your best ball. So I just think that it's a no-brainer. You can't look at this opportunity and say, I got to save myself for the next couple of years.
Greg, are your kids acting up? I see you over there. Are they all right?
Yeah.
It's all good, bro. It's all good. We get it.
That's a Kaylee.
We understand the dad life, bro. We get it here in the Hitler
My
streets.
daughter's in here making faces at me, and they're hilarious.
That's great. That's awesome.
She's eating crackers and drinking water and smirking at me as she's doing it.
So, Declan, let me ask you this too. As an athlete, what do you do in a situation? You're at the finals. You're 70% to go. Game time decision. Do you risk further injury and go out there and sacrifice and put it all on the line? Or do you sit back because your team's clearly cooked without you? They close out the series without you. You know, what do you do in a situation like that?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm 70%, that 70 is a long. I don't want to say it's a long ways to 100, but at the same time, it's a long way to getting to where you need to go in a good way. You're making progress. I'm playing. I mean, I think I could speak for all of us. I know you all said it already, but I think we would all play. I don't know what the extent of his injury is, but I look at it this way. If I'm Giannis right now and my team goes and loses without me, I'm now coming back already at a disadvantage, down one. If they lose, say they lose, right? Now they're down one. Now I got to overcompensate, down a game already. I didn't even have an impact on the first game when I could have at least had, if I was 75%, I mean, that's better than whoever's going to start in front of him, because Giannis is the reigning two-time back-to-back.
I don't know. Bobby Portis from Coach Carter might have something to say about that.
Coach Carter,
He's an actor. What is it?
What are you, allergic to layups? I love that movie. That movie's great. It's a great movie. What's the one factor, before we get to predictions, what's the one factor for this game for you, Steph? What's the factor? What's the X factor?
I mean, I would have to say the X factor on the Bucks side is going to be Chris Middleton to me. Like he. Before
you go, when he shoots over 40%, they win. They're undefeated in the playoffs, by the way. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Like, that's an X factor right there, though. Right?
Yeah. When he shoots over 40%,
W. Like, that's superhuman. You know what I mean? So, like, I just think Chris Middleton has to show up if the Bucks want to have a chance. Because, yes, Giannis is someone that is the superstar, but we all know that the team goes where Chris Middleton goes as well. Like, he is there. He's just the scoring output that they need. Where Giannis can't get it done, he will get it done. So, if the Bucks don't have him, I have a hard time seeing them winning this first game. And just for the series, he needs to show up. Because with that number over 40%, W, like, that's not a very high threshold for entry in my mind.
Greg, what's the X factor for you?
Can I pick two players? Is it possible?
For you, Greg, because I like you, absolutely. You can.
You like Greg?
I think it's going to be Cam Johnson and Jay Crowder. I think when they're hitting shots from three, the Suns are almost impossible to beat. You know, they both have impacts on the defensive end, but on offense, we know Chris Paul is going to run a 1-5 pick and roll with DA. Devin Booker, we've seen that he can be shut out of a series and the Suns still win a game.
Yeah.
Or shut out of a game, I'm sorry. So who on the Suns is going to pick up that offensive slack? I think if Cam Johnson's healthy or Jay Crowder, they have to show up. If they don't show up on offense, it's going to get ugly real fast.
Declan, your X factor for the series.
Yeah, so I agree with both of you guys. If we're gonna give 3 X factors, but I totally like the Middleton one because he has been inconsistent, but when he's on, he is on, and that team wins. Clearly, they're undefeated when he shoots over 40%, like Carl said. And I love the Jay Crowder one from Greg because I mean, this is a guy who's been on. He was on the finals team, the Heat team last year.
Yeah,
he was on the Celtics when they were good. He's always on these teams that
he's the new James Jones.
Literally. And isn't James Jones in the front office for Phoenix?
He's the general manager.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But an X factor, I'll give it. And Greg mentioned him. What do we got?
Ziggy tight.
Why is Ziggy mad?
He said I didn't get
an X factor. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. These questions just come up to me. This is what happens when you're rolling. I'm like, wait a minute, I got another question. Let me ask this. My bad, Ziggs. I'll ask you that question on the post game tonight. I promise. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got another chance to come on here.
I'm gonna go with DeAndre Ayton. We saw him in the Clippers series when he was bad, and when he was bad, that team was just not rolling. You know, and especially, I mean, I know they got up 2-0 without Chris Paul, but DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I do love the Middleton and Crowder picks, but DeAndre Ayton, if he can devour underneath, obviously the value, but if he could just do his job underneath, this team is gonna be tough to beat, and I really think having a guy like him in the in the front court is huge for the Suns.
All right, it's prediction time here on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Ricardo Etienne went Suns in 7. Ziggy said Bucks in 7. Steph, I'm gonna give it to you first. Who wins? How many games?
So I was listening when they gave their picks, and I was like, I'm gonna go Suns in 7. Like I don't see this being any earlier. I can't imagine this series ending in 6 or in 5. So it's gonna be Suns in 7. Shout out to your sister, Deck.
Declan, who you got? How many games?
This is tough. I'd like to shout out Greg for his best prediction of the year, which was Nets in 2.5 against our Celtics. But I'm gonna have to go. I wanted to go Suns in 7. because I really want to see a 7-game series. Even though I'm rooting for the Suns, I'd risk the 7th game just because I'd love to see a 7-game series. I mean, who doesn't want to see a Game 7? It's the best thing in sports. But I'm gonna have to go Game 6 for the Suns. I'm gonna go Suns in 6. I think they get it done.
Suns in 6. Greg?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Declan, which doesn't happen often, but it does.
It happens more than he wants to admit.
I'm gonna go Suns in 6 as well. I just think that
Suns across the board.
Chris Paul is at a point in his career where you saw in Game 7 of that Clippers series, or Game 6.
Takeover.
He just wants it more at this point in his career, because this could be his last hurrah.
Right. So we got Suns in 7, but Rick, Steph has Suns in 7, Deck has Suns in 6, Greg has Suns in 6. Ziggy's on an island alone with Bucks in 7. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here. Friday, 1 o'clock, right?
Yes, sir.
You know it.
Greg, be aware. Be very aware. You shot first. I will shoot last. That's all I'm going to tell you, my guy. And just keep in mind, keep in proper perspective, in the words of Anthony Mullen, I have no limits. That's all I'm going to say. So all
limitless,
Carl.
So just to let you know,
Carl, you can't beat me.
Oh yeah, we'll see about that. I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys enjoy the game.
I'm getting Shaq and Chuck hard.
I'll see you guys soon. Take care. You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. I'm going to bring in Mr. Jordan Eugene. Hey, what's up? Beautiful.
Bye. Blow kiss.
Bye. Later,
you guys take care. I'll talk to you guys soon. Mr. Jordan.
What up, Jordan?
Jordan, what's going on, sir?
We back again, huh?
Yeah. Greg's not staying though. There we go. So Jordan, me and you, I have somebody else coming in. My brother's supposed to be coming in. He'll be joining us shortly. Jordan, let me ask you this. What is your favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
I gotta say, my favorite NBA Finals moment all time has to be 2013 NBA Finals. LeBron, they're down 89-94, right? They're down 5 with 28 seconds left. And it's one of those games where it's like you remember where you were when you witnessed it. You know what I mean? For me,
2013 when LeBron
when LeBron won his second ring. In Miami. Yeah. So this was when LeBron hit. First of all, everybody tries to dismiss it because LeBron didn't hit the shot that sent it into overtime, but he hit a very clutch shot to make it so then the Spurs would be down. So then the Spurs would be only up 2 because they were down 5, and then LeBron misses a 3. They get the rebound, they pass out, they make a 3, they're down 2, and then Kawhi missed 1 free throw, right? Then it's 95-92, and then obviously Ray Allen hits the shot. That has to be easily my favorite finals moment. And then my close second has to be the block heard around the world with LeBron going on Andre Iguodala like that.
Okay, so you know what, the Ray Allen shot is debated as the greatest shot in NBA history. Marv Zoe, my younger brother, my very good-looking younger brother, is in the building.
Brother,
what's going on, sir?
It started storming outside out of nowhere.
It's raining.
Let me ask you the same question I just asked Jordan. What is your NBA, your favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
Like seriously?
Seriously, yes. I know what you're gonna say, but
what am I gonna say?
You're going to the Spurs in 2014. Is that what you're gonna go to?
Why would you ask me any other question?
Because the fans don't know that. That's why. The fans gotta know.
So 2014, the greatest basketball performance you've ever seen in your life is probably my favorite finals moment. For real. Second to that would be, I think it was 2017, game 3. Durant hits the 3 that everybody knows the game was over after that.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The 3 at the top of the key.
Yeah.
He just looked at him like it was over. Everybody knew it was over after that. There was no.
All right, guys. So NBA Finals, we got the Spurs, we got the Suns. I was about to say, what was mine? Oh, anything's possible.
Yeah, of course. I didn't even ask. I saw the shirt. I saw part of the shirt.
Did take that injury? That was in the finals or not?
It wasn't the finals. Listen, my man. Listen, he hit 2 threes back to back.
Paul Pierce not your favorite moment?
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's definitely KG. KG doing this. Anything's possible. That 08. Aside from that, it was 1991 where Jordan switched hands, and then Marv goes, "Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan." I thought that one was an epic one. But in talking about the finals, guys, here we are. Suns versus Bucks. I've been asking my contributors this question when we talk about legacies, right? And I've said this about Chris Paul. could you see Chris Paul getting here, his first time here, and losing? Marv?
Yeah, it's possible. Anything's possible.
Right. Right. But I mean, given the fact that Chris Paul really, really wants it.
I mean, like, do I sit here and think Chris Paul's not going to give us his best basketball? Then no. I mean, he's going to give it his all, but anything is possible. But no, I don't think I don't think anyone comes to lose, but especially this time, I don't think Chris Paul is walking away with an L. That he's not trying to lose on this one.
Okay. Jordan, let me ask you about Giannis now. Giannis, 2-time MVP, not finals MVP, excuse me, the defensive player of the year. We've given Giannis a lot of criticism over the last, especially the Hitler Streets and other fans. But Giannis, is his legacy kind of on the line at stake here with this finals appearance?
I don't think it's nearly as bad as Chris Paul's legacy being on the line here. Not even close. Because Chris Paul, we're talking about him being one of the greatest point guards of all time. And it's like he always had this tag on him where it's like he just doesn't ever make it to a finals. And this is his first finals. So this is big for him. Giannis, on the other hand, he has 2 MVPs. He has some type of experience. Like he has some experience in the league. But at the end of the day, I don't think it's like because of length in the NBA, I don't think it's nearly as important for Giannis to win. Personally, I say Suns in 6. But I don't think it's as important for the Bucks to win.
We're gonna get to that part. I didn't get to the part of
my bad.
We got to jump the gun.
Over here.
No. We got to break. We got levels. We got to break it down. Go ahead, Jordan.
Not much to break down.
So you're saying there's not much to talk about. So it's that easy to just say Suns in 6 for you, Mark.
I mean, what's the injury report on Giannis?
Giannis is a game time decision.
So right Suns in 5. No, I'm joking.
He's a game time decision. He's a game time decision. But again, with or without Giannis, clearly the Bucks were able to advance without Giannis. And we saw the other players step up. Brook Lopez stepped up, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, which is a fun fact. When he shoots over 40%, they're undefeated in the playoffs. So, you're saying Suns in 6, but look at from the other side. Ziggy is the only one on the panel so far who has Bucks in 7, right? Yeah, he has Bucks in 7. So Marv, make a case for the Bucks here.
Make a case for the Bucks? All right. Brook Lopez showed up when Trae Young goes down, right? When
Trae Young.
Brook Lopez showed up. Who did?
Well, Trae Young played. Well, I think Trae Young played in that game, didn't he? Trae Young played in the last game.
No.
Trae Young didn't play in the last game. In the closeout game, he did play in the closeout game.
Did he? I don't remember.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I think he did. Yeah, no,
he did. He played in the closeout game. Yeah, he did play in the closeout game.
I squinted because I was thinking.
I had to think about it because I don't remember.
It was a while ago.
I don't remember him playing in that last game. But
no, he did play. No, because he
gave
it a go.
I mean, if you wanna go about it like that, I mean, Giannis has to really show up at least 2 games if the Bucks want to make this a challenge. Because Chris Middleton, as we've seen, I've seen a meme. It was like a cycle of Chris Middleton. He shows up one night, gives you the best performance of his life. You can get one of those per series, and then he's gonna go back to just struggling. If you want to go to the bigs, I'm picking Ayton over Brook Lopez, anyways. like I just don't think the Bucks. Holiday. I mean, that's who showed up after Trae Young wasn't at 100% anymore. It was Holiday. That's right.
That's Holiday. Yeah.
Chris Paul's gonna eat him.
Thanks for clarifying that for us, Marv. I appreciate that.
No problem. Let you guys know Chris Paul's gonna eat him. And who's their matchup against D Book? Who's the matchup?
I think is it? Would you put Bobby Portis? Is Bobby Portis in the starting lineup now?
Stop it.
All right, so thank you.
Ain't no way you put Bobby Portis. You gonna put Bobby?
No, I'm not saying that. But again,
Bobby Portis on an island, it's not okay. Remember, playoffs is about matchup. Don't just think because they play the same position that's his
right.
matchup.
No, of course not. No,
if you leave Bobby Portis on that island against Devin Booker,
you're an
idiot. Booker deserves to be fired.
Right. So guys, as we are analysts, who do you put on Devin Booker? As Mike Budenholzer going into game 1, who's going to guard that Devin Booker? Jordan.
I put Middleton, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was going to say Middleton.
I put Middleton. That's
Middleton.
Because listen, your second best option on their second best option, and Middleton can definitely guard. I think he could definitely shake some stuff up with Devin Booker. He can make it interesting. Because Bobby Portis is not making it interesting. Let's just put that clear. And no.
If I see Bobby Portis on that man, just fire Budenholzer mid-game.
Yeah.
Mid-game.
So let's talk about the coaching matchups here, Marv. The coaching matchup. Who has the coaching advantage here in this series?
unfortunately, I have to say Budenholzer because of playoff experience
Mm.
in the last couple of seasons. You know, the Suns haven't been in the playoffs in a couple of years to have the experience where Monty could say, I've taken this team to the playoffs. Budenholzer took this team to the playoffs last year.
And the year before. Fair. Okay.
So that's the only edge he's got on him in this situation, I feel like.
So the experience.
Like, we've been saying Budenholzer should have been fired 2 series ago.
They had his papers. That Brooklyn game 7.
They just keep
the
winning.
Papers were in the mail. They were in the mail.
KD was a shoe size smaller.
Exactly. KD was a shoe size smaller.
We're doing the if game. We're not doing the if game. We're not doing the if.
Again with the ifs. Oh yeah, I got a thing at the end of this. By the way, I'm gonna have a message.
Okay, but Jordan, go ahead. So who has the coaching advantage?
Look at me. Monty Williams. 100%. Monty Williams.
Monty Williams.
That's the only, just the playoff thing, because clearly the Bucks have been in the playoffs the last couple of years. But other than that,
Monty's a better coach. Monty got a better players. Monty Williams.
Okay.
And Giannis, that's not to just like invalidate Giannis and Middleton, but like when you talk about depth, Suns got depth.
Yeah.
Suns definitely have depth.
Yeah.
I pretty much asked all my contributors this question. I'm going to ask this to you guys. Giannis is a game time decision, right? 2 years ago, we saw Kevin Durant come out and play, and he got hurt, which cost him a year and a half. You're Giannis going into this game. Clearly, you want to be there for your team, but do you want to risk further injury? Mark, what do? Do you play or do you sit it out?
As a person who's gone through, like, remember, I'm a Spurs fan, so losing Kawhi Leonard to injury and then asking him to come play and he didn't want to play literally pushed him away from the team. So it's tough because as the player, I feel like you should get up and play. But for us to ask of him to play, I lost Kawhi Leonard like that. So I have to, if it's in his heart, you know, if he's going to get up and do it, you know how they say Jordan did it. Jordan played through the flu. Then Kobe played through injury. If he's got the heart to go out there and perform, then do it. You feel me? But I'm not going to be the guy to be like, yeah, go out and play, and then he gets hurt. And I'm like, you know what I mean? So personally, I would not risk it if you don't think you can play.
I believe he's at 70%. I don't know, because again, he's a game time decision. Listen, so it's like
his 70% is still a lot better than a lot of players on his team.
Yeah, than a lot of players, 100%.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's not, again, it's just one of those things, like you said. You know, I can't. Giannis is a big guy. And you know, the bigger they are, leg problems are very inevitable. You know what I'm saying? So you want to go out there and play like Giannis, it's going to hurt you. Even if he doesn't immediately get injured, just the pressure he's putting on. Let's say he comes to the night and he puts more pressure on that leg. I don't know if that 70 could go to 50% next game. You know what I'm saying? Like every time you put him out there, you're risking.
So you're saying no. Don't.
Yeah, I mean, I see if my team could survive games 1 and 2 first.
Okay. So Jordan,
on the road, you lose game 1 by a close margin, I play him game 2.
So Jordan, I'm going to ask you the same question. Don't play him.
I answered the question before you even.
So you're saying,
right?
So don't play him. You're saying don't play him, Jordan. You're saying don't play him.
From past experience.
That's what I'm saying. Into history.
Because look at what the Lakers. This just happened this past postseason with the Suns. Did it not? With AD. AD didn't come back a little bit beforehand.
Yeah, and then he went out in that same game. He only gave a couple of games. Yeah, you're right.
Shout out Rick. Shout out all the Lakers fans. We on the couch. You know what I mean?
So same thing happened with the Bucks. Same thing happened with the Nets too, with James Harden, right?
Exactly. You put him out on one leg, and you saw how he played. He was horrible the game he came back. So you don't gain anything if you get Giannis at 7. I don't think you gain that much that you get Giannis at 70% rather than just let.
Okay, so here's Ziggy in the comments. Ziggy is saying all those examples we're using are not in the finals. That's the difference. This is the finals here. All the examples we're using about injuries.
Use the KD example.
KD from 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. Right, fair. Again, I'm just seeing it from. I understand.
I gotta say stop because no matter what, even if it wasn't the finals, it was still to get them further. Like,
right. This is
why do you do it?
This is even because you want to win it. Him getting re-injured. I understand like that pressure's on you. You gotta play. It's the finals. At the end of the day, you start to think like that, and then your health starts to deteriorate. If you just start to think, oh, this is important times, I need to get in there. Do you really at that point you have to really start caring about yourself and your health? Because if you start to get hurt, look at KD. KD missed a year and a half.
And then everybody want to cry from the Warriors like we shouldn't have sent them out there. Like,
right. You shouldn't have done that. We regret doing that. So guess what? Just play it safe. I promise you, game 1 is probably, it's not a pivotal game, but it could be important in the long run. Who knows? But at the end of the day, because we don't know that, I say the safest thing to do is just leave Giannis there, because you're talking about a really, really amped up environment. You're talking about the Valley right now. The Valley is going to be turned up. The volume is going to be all the way up. Fans are going to be going crazy. There's going to be a lot of energy in that building. Do you really want him going out there and possibly re-injuring himself to then affect his next season as well?
I mean, they just signed him to a long-term deal, so losing 1 year out of that
this also affects his next season, and then Bucks fans are really
fair. That's fair, but do you, again, Jordan, just understand that
that's what I'm saying.
The Bucks haven't been in the finals since when?
Me personally, I go out and play. But if I'm Budenholzer and the staff, game 1, you're gonna have to sit this one out.
Yes, no, sit. If this isn't game 7, game 7, I think.
Game 7, you're not playing. I don't know who you are.
No, absolutely.
If you get to game 7, I don't care if he's 44%. Get out there.
Right. Like, if you could walk, if you're breathing, if you have a pulse, you on the floor.
You on that floor, yeah.
You're an ACL, you on the you can still walk.
Game 7,
you're on the floor.
Like, you guys have a shot here.
Listen. Rest in peace to Kobe. Listen, rest in peace to Kobe. We saw him hit 2 free throws on a torn Achilles.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, you got to do what you got to do, right?
And
that was in the regular season.
Just real quick to backtrack, I forgot PJ Tucker's on the Bucks, so that's another option to put on Booker.
True. Yes.
I really forgot about.
Aside from Giannis, he would be their second best defender.
Yeah,
right?
defender. Yeah,
defender.
Wait. Are we saying that PJ Tucker is a good defender?
Listen,
where are you going with this?
No. I just want to know. I just want to
look at the Bucks roster. Just if you had to ask me from the Bucks roster to rate their defense, then he is one of their top defenders.
Okay, no, Carl specifically. Marv, there's no history between me. So Carl, I just want to ask you specifically. Are you saying that PJ Tucker is a good defender?
I'm saying he's the best. He's the second best defender on this Bucks team. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Just be clear. That's all I'm saying. Just be clear what I'm saying. I know where you're trying to go with this because there's a lot of history. Because according to Jordan, right, last year PJ Tucker was supposed to shut down Anthony Davis. That's what he's going with it. That's what he's trying to insinuate. And then he got cooked by Anthony Davis. That's what you're trying to go now. Again, okay. So there was better offense on the other side.
I just want to know. I just want to hear that he's a good. I have no.
Oh my goodness.
PJ Tucker. I love PJ Tucker, so I love hearing.
There's a big difference, bro. There is a big difference of PJ Tucker playing in Houston to playing in Milwaukee. All right, let's not try to do that.
Coaching, there's a huge difference.
Yeah, there is a huge difference. But you guys pretty much, again, I'm going to give you a rundown of everybody else's picks before I let you guys go. Ziggs has the Bucks in 7. Ricardo has the Suns in 6. Right. Steph has the Suns in 7. Declan has the Suns in 6. Greg has the Suns in 6. Jordan, final answer.
Suns in 6.
Because
one in the club. Suns in 6.
Because why? Why?
You asked me. What'd you say?
Why? Yeah, why?
Bro, first of all, they're taking game 1. Then I think Milwaukee takes game 2. But then they go into Milwaukee. They shock them game 3. Then that's 2-1 right there. Then they lose game 4. So then it's 2-2. And then they win in the Valley game 5. And they're like, bro, we're a game away. Let's just play our hearts out. Game 6 in Milwaukee, win it on their court, just like Steph Curry got his first ring. CP will get his first ring on the opponent's court.
All right, Marv, how many games and who? Why?
Suns in 5. I'm not joking.
Suns in 5? Wow. Are you serious? I just wrote it down. You just said Suns in 5?
Yes, I'm gonna say Suns in 5. Why? Because I still feel like this Suns team is jumping off this undefeated streak from last year's bubble, bro. They have not been stopped. They are doing their thing. I feel like the time for them to lose was last series, and unfortunately, Kawhi Leonard wasn't there. And because they got past that, listen. As soon as both Trae Young and Giannis got hurt, I literally said the Western Conference Finals was the finals. The reason why I'm gonna give them 5 because I like the way Jordan broke it down. They take game 1. I think they take game 2 as well because the Suns they can do it. I believe the Suns can do it.
They're taking one.
They're gonna activate Giannis by game 3 if they're down 2-0 for sure. Right. And Giannis' comeback game, I feel like the Bucks will take it. But then 4, the Suns are gonna do what they do. They're gonna do what they do and steal that
but
one.
Listen,
and come home
Giannis's comeback game could be tonight. You don't know. That's the big question mark. It could be tonight. They said he's a game time decision. So there's a factor that you don't even know what's gonna happen.
Okay.
You seen that lightning?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's crazy outside.
Yeah, no, it's crazy outside.
All right. So again, finally, Ziggs has Bucks in 7. So you going? Marvin's going Suns in 5. Jordan's got the Suns in 6.
Right about these things. I just got.
Greg has the Suns in 6. Declan has the Suns in 6. Steph has the Suns in 7.
Nobody said a sweep.
No, Rick has the Suns in 7. Yes, I wrote that down, Rick. You said Suns in 7. We got you over there with the Suns in 7. Guys, thank you so much for joining us here.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Jordan, real quick. Go ahead. I know you got something to say.
I was absent for some time. I was enjoying the life that I was living, right? I'm enjoying the life that I'm living. I missed some things in the Facebook group. There's some things that happened since the last time I was on here. We had Ray Jarvis speaking my name crazy, talking about using me and then
he said to collect.
Right? he said we know me. Just like every home in the world, I'm gonna address it. Ray Jarvis using my name. Don't be doing that, bro. You don't know me. I don't know you. Respect me. That's how it's going.
Okay, I will let Ray Jarvis know that once he gets here.
And the other one, you had a live video today. Paul Zucchini.
Akizi?
I don't know how you say his name. I don't know how to say it. I'm not really too familiar with his last name, so I'm not going to speak anything about it.
Bro, I really got to go, man. I got people in the waiting room, man. Listen.
That's
You got some beef you want to handle?
My name out your mouth. That's all I'm going to say.
Name not till 9 o'clock.
Listen, we have some other contributors to get to, guys. Thank you for joining us here. Sports Hitters. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Finals, baby.
No, I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, you guys take care. All right.
The game.
All right, you guys enjoy the game.
Halftime. We'll talk.
You're watching the Sports Hitters by the fans and for the fans live on the live here. And I'm going to bring in some more contributors as they come in. Marv, thank you for joining us. You could exit. There you go.
Shout out to Sun. Yo, what up, yo? What up? Yo. Did somebody say Suns in 4 to make me happy? All right, go look. Bye. Yo, we need Mike Miller. My son, Mike Miller.
Little Carl. We got little Carl in the building.
He's leaving. He's leaving, Mike. He's leaving.
That shirt. We need Mike Miller. I need that.
No, it's popping right now. We got little Carl in the building. I feel
I'm out of here, though, man. This is y'all time. I'm going to let y'all be, yo.
So we got Paul, not Chris, is in the building. We got Mike Miller. And we got the reigning defending MVP, Mr. Ray Jarvis, is pulling up.
What's up, man? You got me on the good team.
Ray Jarvis, I got a quick message before we get to cooking. Jordan was just on here and he said to just respect his name. That's all he said. He's talking to you. So I don't know what you might have said about him because I can't keep track of what people say anymore. I'm just letting you know what the message is. Jordan. He had the message for Ray Jarvis. Jordan. That's it. Jordan Eugene. He had a message for Ray Jarvis. That's all I have to say.
Check on his name.
That's what he said. Listen, don't shoot the messenger. All right. Ray, I can't hear you, my brother.
Who cares about Jordan?
All right, guys. So, Mike, let me ask you this again. What is your favorite NBA Finals moment all time before we talk about the series? Favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
Oh, man. You put me on the spot. You didn't tell me you was going to ask that.
I didn't send it to you. My bad. Okay, I'll go to somebody else. I'm sorry. I apologize. I have so many messages. I'm keeping track.
Let me think about ask somebody else, and then
Paul, let me ask you this. What is your favorite NBA Finals moment all time?
First off, I had a feeling the cards would turn to me going first with this as the non-NBA insider like my two brothers are. So I'm going to give you two, right? Because, you can't have leaders at the podium if we don't change the script. So the first one I'm going to give you, and you can come back to me, is every kid growing up, didn't matter what was going on, right? I remember having every swingman jersey AI ever wore, right? The blue, the white, the black. I even had the fake joint that was red that I got from City Light on Euclid Avenue in the hood, right? So the Ty Lue moment, the crossover in the corner, the step over, the stare down, to win game 1 of that finals en route for the Lakers three-peat is definitely one of my favorite NBA Finals moments of all time. I do have another one, but I'm going to let the brothers go as well.
Ray Jarv, favorite NBA Finals moment of all time?
The Lakers repeat back to back. It's like gospel. It's like music. It's Game 7, 2010 NBA Finals.
It has nothing to do with you, Carl. That is my
I get
singular favorite moment in NBA Finals history. When you missed that shot and Lamar caught the rebound, threw it across the court, Kobe sprinted down to get the ball. There's no sweet. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it right now. That is my singular favorite moment. Down 15, the comeback. Staples has never been louder. To this day, never been louder than Game 7. I love it. Kobe getting number 5. The journey from being a lottery team all the way to getting power to being back-to-back champs. It gets no better than that.
Okay, Mike, back to you.
My man, you really should have told me this early, you jerk. How could you do this to me?
I apologize. I apologize, bro.
No, it's all good. I'm gonna just like probably recent memory is probably 2015 finals, man. Steph, I think what was that game 4? They didn't win the game, but he started going crazy in the second half. I think it was game 4 or game 3. He started going crazy in the second half, and and the reason why that was my one of them to just offhand is because I remember how social media was doing him the first 3 games. When they was down 2-1, it was Delhi. There was all these little stupid memes and all that. People was going crazy. And I was like, okay, y'all know who y'all talking about, right? And then so it was the end of game 3 was he started to get some momentum. And in game 4, he went crazy. And I was like, see, I told y'all. So that finals was just like that. Mike, to me, that was when he introduced everyone like, yo, respect me out here.
Mike, I'm surprised you didn't pick game 5. I feel like game 5 was when he really showed the world. Close game. Yeah. He closed them out.
Closed them out.
Well, it was pretty much that from 4 to 5, from 4 to 6, it was like, okay, here we are. But it was that game 3 at the end of the game where he started to finally see something. He was like, oh, now I know how you defended me now. Okay, I got you. And then from game 4 to 6, it was a wrap after that. And then the excuses came after that series. Oh, Delhi had to go and get fluids because he was dehydrated. I say, yeah, because he's chasing Steph. That's why he's dehydrated. So that was one.
Paul, back to you real quick because we got to move on.
I got to pay homage to the greatest of all time. I was 10 years old when I seen Mike get swiped Karl Malone on the baseline and hit that step back off Byron Russell.
With the little push. Can't forget the little push.
As a 10-year-old that played every sport.
Yeah.
The one sport I didn't dominate at age 10 was basketball. I was a street legend, but I certainly was no AAU household name. And I respect what MJ was doing, but it was, one of the trials and tribulations of only being 33 today is when I got a chance to really understand the game of ball, Mike was already gone. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's my only regret is not being old enough to see Mike in his prime. Watching it on YouTube and all that other stuff, yeah, that's cute. But to see it live and see the anger my dad had when they couldn't beat the Knicks, bro, I'll never forget that in life. So I got to pay homage Mike against the Jazz game 6.
All right.
Shot of all shots, B.
So, guys, we are here. The final 2 teams, Bucks versus Suns. I've been asking this question when it comes to Giannis. The last report I got was that he's a game time decision. So no official statement has been made about if he's playing or not. But Mike, let me ask you first, given the situation you're in the finals, we've seen Kevin Durant go down 2 years ago when they tried to play him and he couldn't go. And we've seen the list of players in this past playoffs who've tried to play and they really weren't 100%. What do you do in the Bucks situation? You have your best player who's about 70% going into this game. Do you play him in the finals or do you sit him, Mike?
Not game 1. If he's not healthy, if you're Bud and you're the coaching staff, you have to look at long term, not only for the series but for his future. Now again, he could get mad and leave you, but he just signed a new extension. So for me, I don't play him game 1 because everybody knows that's more or less the feel out game. I don't really believe in feel out games like that because to me, every game counts. And it's first to 4. Whichever you win one, you're closer to 4 than the other person. But no, if he's not at least 80 to 85%, I'm not playing him game 1.
Ray, what do you do in this situation with injury at stake and career at stake, and you're at the pinnacle of the NBA right now in the finals? What do you do with Giannis?
I don't think this is a team decision. I think this is completely up to Giannis, based from it being doubtful to questionable.
a la James Harden a couple of weeks ago in the Bucks Nets series. I think the player has already decided that if he can find a way to make this happen and to go, he's going to play. It's a matter of how his knee responds throughout the treatment and into pregame. I think at the very least, we'll see Giannis in game 2, but just the way Giannis tried to walk off the court and try to show the world that he's okay when he initially got injured throughout this entire process, just reading the tea leaves. Unless the doctors tell him he's at risk for further injury, I'll go out on a limb and say at around 8:35, 8:40, we'll get an alert that Giannis is playing tonight.
Paul, what are your thoughts here? And you playing, I guess, at an elite level. What, as an athlete, what do you do in that situation? This is the championship. Do you play? Do you risk further injury? Do you play or not?
So you got to understand, Giannis is not your traditional superstar, right? This is a guy who has publicly gone out there and he admires his peers, right? He loves LeBron. He loves KD, right? We watched KD drop 60. He didn't guard him. He's the best guy in the world. Giannis will play tonight. And I will tell you why. The average recovery is 2 to 4 weeks in a hyperextended knee. That's a real lead time. Giannis is a world-class athlete, right? Physique, in shape. Sure, he has some injury concerns. Nothing major. He'll be out there. And Giannis's skill set can yield you very productive results against DeAndre Ayton and get out there and cover the screens long enough. He's athletic enough, even at 75%, to produce. So if you're Giannis, this is your moment, bro. Like, I hate to say it like that, but, this is your moment. And you won't be there next year, right? So now's the time. Right? I think, in my opinion, now's the time if you're Giannis. So he's out there.
I think what we saw in the Brooklyn Nets series is that Giannis was able to post up more.
Right.
He went from trying to go fully north and south to I'll mix in the north and south game with some post game. And if his knee is compromised, he won't be able to explode as much, but he's not afraid to bang. And if they're smart, they're going to identify Crowder as the person they want him to bang with. Because are you going to put Ayton on him and risk foul trouble, or are you going to put Ayton on Brook Lopez to stretch him out? You know what I'm saying? If they decide to have Ayton bang with Giannis is going to get those calls. If they decide to have Giannis bang with Crowder, he can shoot over Giannis. He get the little drop step, little hook shot that I didn't know he had in the bag. Shout out to Giannis for shutting me up with that. But the fact that he's willing to bang and get in the post means that he doesn't have to use his knee as much to explode. And if he's willing to do that and find the matchups that benefit him, I think we can get as much of Giannis as he needs to give in order for them to win the series.
Mike, let me ask you this. Listen, I've given CP3 his due diligence. I've been known to have a lot to say about CP3 and his lack of appearing in the finals. Now that he's here, how can we see CP3 losing this series? 16 years, 36 years old, and finally gets here. How can we even see him losing or fathom him losing?
Well, it's not impossible. They're not.
No, it's not. Right.
They're 5-point favorites tonight in game 1, but they're home. So it's not impossible. But I can tell you this, as much as we all saluted them, lest we not forget the 73-9 Warriors. They were already champions. And you see what everybody did to them was they're bums, they needed KD, they stink because they lost in game 7 in the finals. So ultimately, the job is not done. And I think Chris Paul recognizes that. So in terms of Chris Paul particularly, we celebrated last week. Yeah, he made it. It's cute. But if he loses, especially if Giannis is, as the fellas are saying and as people are talking, if Giannis is only 70% and they lose to that team while they're favored, baby, then the conversation becomes back to, that was a nice little run. And you know what happens then, Carl? Then we go back and say, you made it because AD got hurt. You made it because Jamal Murray was hurt. You made it because Kawhi Leonard was hurt. We go. That's what happens. We're gonna go. Everybody's gonna go back and say, "Hey, B, were you really supposed to be there? Because when you got there, it didn't look too good." So he understands, and I think everybody around him knows it's still a lot on the line. His legacy isn't cemented now in that respect. He's a Hall of Famer, no doubt, but the legacy's not cemented if you lose in the finals, especially when you're favored.
Ray Jobs, Ziggy was on here earlier, and he said him just getting there is enough.
What?
That's what he said. That's what he said. Kim just getting there is enough for them that we should be
lowering
able to
the
acknowledge.
bar.
So Ray,
He was hot.
he did say that. So Ray, I know you've had some choice words for Chris Paul over the years. Now that he's here, and what are your thoughts about him winning the whole thing and not winning versus him not winning the whole thing?
This is that second place mentality that I've been talking about for much of 2021 when it comes to sports fans. The first takeification of sports. Everything is legacy, 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 legacy. Can he, will he, won't he, why won't he, etc. So now, because of the fact that you want to give players accolades, we in the accolades era, just getting there is enough. Again, for Ziggy to say that, that's super disappointing, Zig. Like you've said a lot of compelling things in the times that I've been affiliating with you guys. And for you to say that, it just shows that when I talk about Bozo Nation and I talk about Knicks fans, that's that Knicks fan mentality. Just getting there. I feel like Ziggy said the same thing about the Knicks just getting to the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. So this just getting in mentality, let me remind you sports fans of something. When you get into sports, when you play one singular game, when you play pickup at the park, the objective is to win. You didn't get on a court to lose. You didn't get on a tennis court to lose. You didn't get in the bowling alley when you go out with your friends to lose. You go on there to win. You don't get on a football field to lose. There's no such thing as just getting there because y'all spend so much time watching debate TV and talking about players' resumes and legacies. You forgot that Herman Edwards said you play to win the game. So no, Ziggy, just getting there is not enough. To answer your question that you asked Mike Carl, how could he possibly lose? You know how? He's playing a team who has their whole allotment of players if Giannis plays. That's how. The Phoenix Suns are a victim, or actually they're a proponent of circumstance. They played wounded teams all the way to the finals. All of you sports fans who have forgotten how to be sports fans, who forgot the rules of sports and the rules of engagement, screaming nonsense about ifs and all of that. And it's real sickening because we all came up in the same time and y'all decide to move these goalposts. It's real stupid, bro. If you play a wounded team all the way to the playoffs and you play a team with all of their players, that's how you can lose. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, y'all killed Steph for that. Y'all said he played injured teams. Now we're saluting Chris Paul. What happened? Y'all scream same energy. All of y'all are hypocrites.
Yeah,
you know
Ziggy's in the comments and he did say this part. He said it was a team game. Like we need to stop acknowledging that it's just
get out of here.
ball.
Get out of here.
It's a team game. That's what he said.
No. Wait, hold
on.
What you mean is a team game if you just said him just getting there is enough. So now because I responded to you talk out of both sides of your mouth, this is why you sports fans, y'all need to go back to sports fan university. Hit the reset button, baby. Figure this out, and then come back. It's not, it's a team game, but again, we talked about the pie chart. In basketball, certain players are weighed more than others. Math teachers are supposed to know that. So miss me with the team game talk. But one player accounts for 30 to 35% of the whole. He's weighs more than the team. Stop it.
All right. Well, I think
well,
Paul, I think Ray kind of summed it up. I don't want to toss you the same question, but hey, listen, there's nothing else left to say. I think Ray pretty much summed it up at that point.
That might have been the most disgusting thing I ever heard Ziggy say. I'm really
disappointed.
I'm disappointed. He basically said
almost 20 years.
He said it would be enough. He said it would be enough, but just keep in mind that it is a team game. He said it's not the Chris Paul Suns. We have to remember that there are other players on that team. He did say that.
No, we can't do that, Carl. We're not going to create the excuse for the loss. We ain't doing that. No, we're going to hold him to the standard. Like Ray said, we can't say, oh, it's good enough for him, but then it's not bad for him. No, we're not doing that, Zig, and you know better than that. Stop it, Carl. You know better than that.
You got people who got their own show on your network, in your group, calling me out when the Suns made it to the finals. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, since when did that become the standard, making it to the finals?
Well, can I answer that? Paul, let me answer that for you. Because I know when
did we move that, right?
Paul, let me tell you when that became the standard. Let me tell you when that happened. You know when that happened? 2015 NBA Finals. When LeBron had those numbers, all of a sudden, we just cared about the numbers. We didn't care that you lost. And that year, I asked everyone, tell me what Charles Barkley's numbers were in the 93 finals. No one knows. You want to know why? Because it's what Ray said. The standard has always been, if you don't win, who cares? We're not, and ever since LeBron kept losing.
Did he average 40 in there, though? Did Charles
he was averaging 27 and 13. No one cared and no one knew. Why? Because he lost. And all of a sudden in 2015, that's when it shifted, where we started counting stats of people who lose. And we started saying, well, look, he did this. Well, we did it in 2015.
And LeBron,
Carl, you got people right now saying that LeBron's best playoff run was in 2018 or 2019 when he got swept in the finals.
And I remember them saying that he should have won the Finals MVP.
Like
he should have won the Finals MVP after losing. They did say that.
Carl, that's when it started. Before you ain't never hear nobody say the loser in the finals should win Finals MVP until that year. So Paul, that's when it started. That's when everybody said, "Oh, just get in there is enough." And that's what. And then Carl, one real quick point. Remember, then we started saying, "Oh well, such and such made it to the finals 8 straight years." When did we ever keep finals stats of making it? No, we kept when you won it. We didn't.
You know what's funny? Hold on, let me jump in. I remember when we were kids and we made fun of the Bills for getting to the Super Bowl 4 straight years and not winning one of them. But again, the second place trophy era.
Right, that's word for word in the Mount Rushmore. My beef with the Haitian sensation Raynald Lockett. Who put Jim Kelly on his Mount Rushmore?
Listen, guys, that's another conversation for another day.
I'm just saying the point is that we didn't celebrate them for getting there. We made fun of them for getting there 4 straight and not getting one and choking a couple of times along the way.
How they feel about Jerry West and his 9 finals losses?
All right, guys. So we're basically coming up on time, so I'm gonna give a rundown of everyone's predictions so far. Okay. Ziggy has the Bucks in 7. Ricardo has the Suns in 7. Steph Polius has the Suns in 7. Declan has the Suns in 6. Greg has the Suns in 6. Jordan has the Suns in 6, and my brother Marv has the Suns in 5. So Paul, who you got and how many games and why?
Listen, I'm a huge Devin Booker fan, B. However, I'm going with the Bucks, and I'm gonna say Bucks in 5.
Wow.
Let me tell you why. Right? Giannis being out there is the energy they need. The Bucks can win at home and they can win on the road. PJ Tucker is a feisty mug, right? The name it rhymes with the name. All I'm saying is Drew Holiday will make it complicated for what you see. Chris Paul's been cruising in the playoffs against no-name defenders, Campaneros, and all sorts of paraphernalia. I don't even know the guys he's been playing. The Cameron Paynes and the Jay Crowders we seen show up small in big moments before, they won't be there hitting all them shots that they've been hitting. My only concern is the respect I got for Monty Williams. That's a well-coached basketball team, right? They execute X's and O's. But I think when it all comes down to it, Chris Middleton will be the best player in this series. Drew Holiday will be the second best player in the series. And for that, and the wild card is obviously Brook Lopez. They got to play him in this series. And Ayton will be dragged all over the floor trying to cover the 3-point line. That's no man's land, right? I'm going with the Bucks in 5. I don't even think it'll be as close as many people think. I don't care about the Vegas favorites. Give me the Bucks in 5. Dude.
Mike, you're on the clock, sir. Team, how many games and why?
That was a nice little point, man. That may be considered a hot take, Carl, depending on who you ask. But
hey, y'all brought me here, B.
I respect it.
You a hot take.
I respect it, man. Listen, let me go on and make a wild take too. No, I'm not gonna make a wild take. I have Phoenix in 6, but since Paul was saying something, he went out the window, so I'm gonna say Phoenix in 5. And the reason is because although they've played injured players, I think there's injured teams. I think there's certain things that Phoenix has that the Bucks are going to struggle with. Particularly, I look at the Bucks' first 2 games against the Nets. Now, of course, Devin Booker and Chris Paul ain't Kyrie and KD, but I look at the difficulties that the Bucks have faced with perimeter play. You saw what Trey did to them. So Trae Young cooked them. So I think they have an advantage in that space. And I also think DeAndre Ayton will be an advantage. It's going to be interesting and I do think the Phoenix has the coaching advantage. This is a basketball fan series. Like, you got to like basketball to watch this series because it's not all the glamorousness that it's been. So it's going to be a lot of coaching changes. And to me, Bud makes tweaks. Monty Williams makes adjustments. And I think that can stem the tide if he gets into a situation where the Bucks are having some success, where I don't think Bud will. Bud sticks to his rotation and is feast or famine. And I think Giannis is, if he plays hobbled, I think he's going to be a detriment because he's not going to be able to be explosive. So I do see the Suns winning in 5 and Devin Booker getting Finals MVP.
Before we let the MVP cook real quick, right? I just want to shoot back at one of those points Mike made. Saying we watched Trae Young cook Milwaukee is not the same as we're going to see the series. Why? Trae Young has unlimited range. When you have unlimited range and you run screens the way they run screens in Atlanta, Trae Young will cook you. But that same lockdown defense is why Atlanta is watching the series like we are.
Injury is why. Come on now. We're going to talk about injury. Let's tell the truth.
Right.
Like,
before the ankle injury, we seen Trae Young in game 3, right? You remember that game?
That's right. Well, we saw him
for 20 or something like that.
And then we saw the next game. And then my point is to this. First of all, you named
Trae Young, bro.
But remember what you named. You named something key. It was basketball related. You said pick and roll. Who's the better pick and roll player? Chris Paul, especially on the mid range. He's not going to shoot from far range. He's going to get in those mid-range points and hit those mid-range jumpers.
But we're talking the length of the.
Okay, guys, listen. I hate to cut you off, but we're really pressed for time here. So MVP, your pick.
Good conversation. Come on, man. Stop messing up the fun.
I know. I'm sorry.
This is like a league pass NBA Finals. This isn't your glamorous NBA Finals. But I think the difference between what Devin Booker brings to the table and what Trae brought to the table was the fact that the kind of defenders the Bucks are more willing to throw at Devin Booker. Devin Booker operates more like a wing than a guard with distance. And because he operates that way, you can throw a PJ Tucker at him. You could throw a Connaughton at him. You could throw a Middleton. You can mix and match and make him work and get physical with him in a way that you just couldn't do with Trae Young. So I think that dynamic alone changes the series. I also think that if you look at the matchups, you look at the kind of pushback the Suns got on their way. I think Mike and I talked about this on the gray area about facing perimeter play, backcourt play. I think this is going to be the best air quote perimeter play. I won't call him a backcourt, but the best perimeter play between Middleton and Drew Holiday that they've seen in the playoffs throughout. And then you sprinkle it. We kind of saw it with Reggie Jackson and PG, but now you're sprinkling in a Giannis. Even if Giannis is compromised to a certain degree, you're asking them to defend the perimeter and then have a freak of nature get busy and get calls, because this is going to be the difference in the series. And I look at the two really good teams that Phoenix played. The Lakers got 2 games on them compromised. Clippers definitely got 2 games on them compromised. No Kawhi throughout, right? Now they're facing the best team they face, probably outside of the Lakers, the best defensive team they face, and a team who's cohesive on offense. There's not a lot of hero ball in Milwaukee. You have guys who can knock down shots. You have a big who can knock down shots. This is probably the best rebounding team the Suns have faced in the playoffs. The Suns are very scrappy. But now this is going to be the first time, albeit a little bit in the Clippers series where it got chippy, but this is going to be the most physical team that they faced in the postseason. The best perimeter play they faced in the postseason. And probably outside of Jokic, the best freak of nature they faced in the postseason. You know, you're asking Chris Paul to now exert more energy on the defensive side of the ball. And that could go either way with them hamstrings. We don't know. Okay, you're asking Campaign to show up when the light is the brightest against real NBA players on the perimeter. We don't know what to expect. You know, we just don't know. If the basketball is what it is, in good faith, I can't pick Phoenix. This is not even about hating anymore. This is not even about Chris Paul. It's about being in good faith. If the basketball is what it is, this is Milwaukee in 6 games, and that's my pick.
All right, there you have it. So let's give a quick rundown. Ziggy has the Bucks in 7. Rick has the Suns in 7. Steph has the Suns in 7.
Yo, Carl, scrap that rundown. Who you got, B?
Oh, I got the Suns in 6. I'm going Suns in 6.
Taking my pick.
It goes back to my point about it goes back to my point about CP3. I can't fathom CP3 getting here, and after everything happening to him. I'm being serious. You're
supposed to be making basketball picks, not sentimental.
No, it's not sentimental.
He's right. The sports gods have set it up for Chris Paul to get his ring.
That's true. Let's be real. You're right. That's a good pick. Of course, the media man would say that as your pick. It makes sense, though. It looks like it's destiny.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Tune into the post game tonight. Coach wasn't available for the pre, but he will be here for the post game along with Ziggy to break down game 1. And I'll talk to you guys soon. You guys take care and enjoy game 1. All right. You're watching the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. This is Carl Coulange wrapping up the pregame here for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. And I'm going to give another quick rundown for everybody, for those who did not get a chance to tune in to the show, to see to listen to everybody's predictions. So again, I got the Suns in 6. Ziggy has the Bucks in 7. Rick has the Suns in 7. Steph has the Suns in 7. Declan has the Suns in 6. Greg has the Suns in 6. Jordan has the Suns in 6. Marvin has the Suns in 5. Paul has the Bucks in 5. Mike has the Suns in 5. And Ray has the Bucks in 6 games. You guys make sure you enjoy the game. Tune in here tonight. Following Game 1, we'll have a live post game on the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Tomorrow's live show will feature some baseball, the Yankees, what's going on with the Yanks. It's not looking too good over there down in the Bronx. And also some soccer, the Euro Championship. My soccer cats are going real crazy. Thank you for everyone who joined us for this hour and a half post game. Please make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Oh, and by the way, the B Show will be returning in 2 weeks. So please make sure you stay tuned to that. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Again, live post game.